Hey, everybody, welcome to the Coosa Christian Football Show with Coach Russ Prope, Jeff Underwood, Jerry White. What's up, buddy?
This is championship game week.
You don't say.
Championship
Never
game
heard of
week.
it.
Yeah, well, we heard about 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You were there.
That's true.
And with us, and we appreciate the time that you're giving us all year, Coach, but today in particular, a very important week.
That's right.
We're with Coach Russ Probst. Welcome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate being here. It's been a good year, and y'all have done a great job, and very appreciative to have spent these Wednesday afternoons with y'all talking Coosa football.
Let me just say this. Let me get out of the way, Coach, because I know you're new to this, and you never coached in a championship game before, but it's a lot on the line. Yeah. So, hey, seriously, let's go back a little bit. You've been in a few of these things, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what makes it different. What makes a championship, or is it different? So I think a lot of people put too much pressure in these games. What's kind of your philosophy?
Well, I've always thought that, this is my 13th one, and, went 7 in a row at Hoover and went to 5 in a 10-year period in Georgia at the highest classification. And I actually been in 15 if you want to throw the dad deal in it. Because
Sure.
2 years I was a dad. Thomas in Piedmont, they won it in 21 and lost it in 22. But so I've been through that week 15 different times. The one thing I've tried to tell our players is things speed up as the week. Sometimes you get into a season and you go, man, I can't wait to Friday. I can't wait to Friday.
Yeah.
Well, this week we're pumping the brakes, because it seems like you look up, that hour's gone. Look up, that's gone. It's because you've got a lot more obligation dealing with you guys in the media.
Sure.
And you have to, and when you're in a smaller school, guys, I think it's even tougher because you have to do so much.
Yeah.
And so you don't have a true specialized guy doing this and a specialized guy doing this, and you're sitting there going, hey, I need to see all their punt clips, or I need to see all their this clip or that clip defensively. We do that, but and it's tiresome because you're thinner with staff than you are in a bigger school, and it takes longer. That's why we've been here till Sunday night. I didn't go home. I spent the night in the field house. We laid down about 5:00, and then was back at work at about 8. But so I got about 3 hours on that couch, and although that couch sleeps pretty good. So
Stephanie says the best sleep she's ever got.
Yeah, it's really good, and I can imagine. But but I think each night has been a grind, and because you got practice tape to watch, you got a plan to finalize, and like right now, I'm still close to finalizing the offensive plan. Me and Alaric and Barry and Brian and the guys that Jackson and of course Vinny and my son, we all get together and watch tape at night. And the best thing for me is I'll send him home about 11:00. We had to practice at Oxford this week, which is elongated stuff, but we had to be indoors because of rain.
Sure.
And all that kind of stuff to get it in, and then and we didn't practice on Sunday, which shortened the week for us. So, but that's what I've noticed is there's so many things are magnified. The week's shorter, it runs fast. Next thing you know, you're going to be kicking off here in 48 hours, 49 hours probably, or 50, whatever it is. But so that's it. It is different. There's more on the line. You're trying to turn over the rock 4 or 5 times where you flip the rock and look underneath it to make sure you've covered everything. Well, you flip this rock 5 or 6 different times. And like I said, when a lot of my staff will go home, especially on offense, they go home at 11 at night. Then I've got to go down there to the defensive side and sit with them for a few hours to they want me to sit down and critique what they're doing. And then a lot of times then I'll come back to finalize plans for the next day. And then you turn around, it's 3:00. And so people say, man, what are you doing there that late? Well, if you've ever just get in our shoes and do it, you'll understand it with all the video and the film and the technology you have now with all the breakdowns. stuff. But look, I think that our kids will respond the right way. And what I'm trying to get them to do is understand to take the hoopla out of it. And some people say, well, this is a trip of a lifetime, blah 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 blah. What you have to do though is you have to focus on the task at hand, and I sequester them as best I can because that's the reason I take their phone. That's the reason I put them in a hotel. That's the reason I try to keep the outside noise, keep them off the internet, keep them off if there's anything out there negative that could be a deterrent. I try to do that kind of stuff, and you just got to be careful with all that kind of stuff because you don't know how it affects kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a little video yesterday of Aniston and Jackson going at each other on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's so ridiculous.
It was horrible, by the way.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that running back from Jackson, who's supposed to be some great stud, that's going to Alabama, he's over there talking and running his mouth. And, and I'm sure if you're DeBoer or a college coach, that's stuff you got to get out of them.
That's right.
And I think those are things that I don't like players to do. And I wouldn't let players do that for me. And not saying my kids don't get on TikTok some.
Sure.
But I tell you when they're not going to get on. They're not going to get on it tonight or tomorrow or tomorrow night or Friday leading up to the game. So for these next 48 hours, they're it's just so to say that we'll control their technology.
You guys as coaches, you were talking about them for quite a bit, and you should because you got some good ones. You got some really, really good coaches. Your players, though, you got 9 seniors. Is that right? 9 seniors, and a few of them, most of them have been at the championship game before a couple years ago. 5 of those guys. Talk about that a little bit and clearing their heads. It's not just another game, right? I mean, it's the state championship, right? This is a big deal. So how do you as a coach get in their heads a little bit and get them focused on this game at hand, even though how big this thing is?
Well, the margin of error changes in the game. There's no replay. There's no you can't do it over or, we'll fix it next week. Or and that's sort of each round. Because I've always said there's 5 championship games.
Yeah. Just
happens the last one is the final one. But you have to approach them all the same. Now, the media attention to the championship game is more. But what I've noticed is that, for example, when I say margin of error, in this ball game, if you're fortunate, 2 good teams are playing. I really believe this game will go down to the last drive. I really believe that. I think if we play well. I mean, I don't see there's no way we blow them out. None. That's not going to happen. They're too talented. They have 28 juniors and seniors that have played together and know how to win. So, and they got some young guys, 4 or 5. So you're looking at a core of about 30 players, that I think only 3 go both ways. Yeah. So that's different. So you're dealing with a depth issue.
That's different.
And we've dealt with it all year.
Sure.
And so fortunately, we've not got anybody hurt, knock on wood, and which has been great. And so obviously we got to stay healthy during the game. That's 1. Number 2, weather could be a factor. That's big. 3, if it's going to go down the last drive, and I've always said this, you go back and look at all the championship games I've been in, you're only going to have 5, 4, 6 opportunities to score, red zone opportunities that you're going to be able to score. So you better be good in red zone and goal line, and that's what I was working on before I came over to this interview. I was working on goal line and red zone, things that we like, that we've seen that they do, and we'll go back over it again tonight at the hotel, that we will critique that and we'll continue to turn that rock over several times to make sure that we've got the right, where we're not wasting our time.
Right.
So to me, that's big. And then making your players understand that it's a 1 drive, last drive game, and that it could go to overtime, possibly could go to overtime, and it could be 1 play to define the season.
Their running back, Morgan. He's a dude. He is an absolute dude. Talk on him just a little bit.
Well, which number you talking about?
Um,
I mean, they've got, to me, they got more than just him. I mean, but
no, they're loaded with dudes, but in particular, see if I have their roster.
But then Elijah Whitfield's a dude too, right?
Zero.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 is their best receiver. He's an elite athlete, and he also plays corner every once in a while. He don't start at corner, but when he comes in, he is the real deal. You know,
Nadarius Morgan is who I'm talking about, but I don't have a roster for them.
you know, if that could be 0, that could be 8, that could be, you know, I've seen a multitude of backs that they have. Teddy would know more about that than me.
He's number 21.
21. He's also their best defensive end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He is a stud now.
Yeah.
And see, I know him as an outside linebacker, defensive end.
Yeah.
I know who you're looking. Now you know who you're talking about. So, you know, I think the thing that Coach Story, although he's not coaching there anymore, his footprint is still on that defense.
Sure it is.
Because they interchange 4 players that can play anyone. So the strong safety, the nickel, the 2 outside backers can interchange. They can play all 4 positions. And so they can get to a 4-man front 2 different ways, which very few 4-man front people can do that. So they can get to their odd look, which is unique. They can get to their bear look, which is unique. So they've got a multiplicity of fronts they can get in coverages. And the biggest scare tactic is that if you put the ball in the air and it stays in the air long, they get it. They're a bunch of ball hawks.
Yeah.
And
quick.
when they get it in their hand, guess what they're going to do? They're going to score.
They house it.
A lot of pick sixes now, and I think that's the scary part about, you know, throwing the football a bunch. And but you know, you got to get what the defense gives you, and because they're really athletic in the box. 2, number 5, that big D lineman, defensive end type kid, is a beast. You know, they've got a nose tackle.
McGilberry.
Yes, he's good.
Yeah.
There.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are 2 outside backers who make things miserable for you too. And their secondary 2 safeties fit. I've seen safeties on hard runs inside the box. I've seen safeties make tackles on the line of scrimmage. That's how much they get downhill.
Yeah.
So obviously, play action pass would be important.
That's Kyle Hamilton type stuff
Yeah.
in the NFL.
I mean, it's really then Mel Blunt and all those guys that can play that position. But it is a very interesting game, to say the least. And I think both squads are by far the best 2 squads in the state of Alabama in 2A football. And I think we're going to have to play the best we've played all year to have a chance to win. But at the same time, I think they got to play good too.
Mm-hmm.
Beat us. So, you know, who rallies and plays the best, I think will be the team that wins.
Sorry about that. Both sides. Hey, those are one of our sponsors.
Thanks for
calling
watching.
me. Thank you for watching right there. They have a lot of. I was looking over some stats. So, you know, they're leading. Receiving and rushing and passing, and they're starting tailback. That's the big kid I was impressed with when I was watching Nadarius Morgan. Over 1,300 yards, 20 touchdowns. All that being said, like Coach said, even better defender. They're a total team. But how much is it, hey, we're going to try to figure out what they do, or, hey, this is what we're good at. We're just going to do what we do.
Well, you got to figure out what they're doing. It took us, you know, with 14 game tapes. You know, we get it at 5:00 on a Saturday afternoon. So all day Sunday we're watching tape and you know, trying to figure out. I mean, we'll still be in the film tonight.
Sure.
And you run out of time. I mean, you really do. I mean, all the years I've done this, you still run out of time, and you have to really stick to your schedule. But at the same time, there's just certain things you have to do to understand what they are and the personality of their team. Of course, I'm studying their defense all the time, trying to figure out if there's a hole here or a hole there. Is there a weakness? There's not many, I can tell you that. Their team speed is elite.
Sure.
They're physical. You look at them play Handley, who beat them, but the game was extremely physical. They lost to Bullitt County right off the bat, who's a really good team too.
Bigger schools.
Yeah, bigger schools. And so, I just think it's going to boil down. If you take 100 plays in, there may be that 2 or 3 that you hope is one that really exposes them the most.
Well, their wide receiver, I was impressed with number 15.
Oh, yeah, he's really good.
Jeff, he's got 22 receptions and 11 touchdowns. Every other catch is a touchdown. It's almost like he's over 800 yards receiving. The dude will go get the ball, and he's a junior.
He's really good. He's a really good athlete. I think, and he does play corner every once in a while. He don't start, but he does play some. And when he's in there, you better not throw his way because he will go get it.
A lot of people jumping on here. Hey, you have Miss Helms watching?
Hey, Miss Helms.
Better throw some respect.
You guys got a lot of practice last week with a good quarterback you faced up against, and this week you got a big-time quarterback that they're going to face again. So talk a little bit about what you see in their quarterback and what your guys have got to do to hold him at bay.
Well, before I say that, I want to thank Andrea for what she's done with this donations and things, helping us to incur some cost in this thing. I do appreciate you, Ms. Helms, and the people that have helped you do this, and the people that have donated. It's been wonderful, and we're very appreciative of that. Going back to your question about their quarterback, it's sort of unconventional of how they do things. They run a semi-ugly eagle package, and then they run a sort of an overset, what I call an overset. I tell you, may not call it that. And then they obviously can spread it and throw it too, and especially 15. Obviously, we know that. It don't take rocket science to know that. But so he's definitely difficult. But as far as a true quarterback sitting in the pocket picking you apart, he's not that.
Yeah,
he's not that. You got to tackle him when you get to him and keep him in the. You want him to stay in the pocket, and you want them to put plays together.
One of the commenters just said he's good at extending plays.
Very good extended plays. Whoever said that knows exactly what they're talking about, because the bottom line is one of the keys to. I said this to the Birmingham media last night. We'll be doing our game, and the number one key to the game to me is we have to prevent multiple big plays. They have to be minimal in that. And I think if they have multiple big plays, we're going to lose football game. If they can go out and go get 40 or 50 and sting us with it, that's not going to bode well for us. Yeah. The more they snap it, the more it works well for us. So they have turned the ball over some. So, we got to force them in snapping it again and not giving up a big play. And we're going to have to gamble a little bit. Teddy's not scared to do that, I can promise you.
We know Eric's not.
And I promise you they'll bring heat. And so there's going to be a good chess match between their offensive staff and Teddy and Eric Albright.
Sure.
And then on the flip side, their DC versus Alaric and myself. And then you throw in a special teams deal. I sort of handle the punt team. Teddy handles the kickoff return, and the punt block team. I help him with the punt block too, but and then Albright also is involved in special teams. So that part could play a huge part. George can play a huge part.
Sure.
Field goal kicker. But here's the other thing. Last thing I'll say about a state championship game. Not the last thing, but a huge, huge deal. There's always a hero that emerges that you did not think would be a hero.
Yeah.
It happens, and it happens. Somebody you'll go, wow, we didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
It happens a ton. And, your Colin Johnson's, all eyes are going to be on him. And I told him this week, this is the first time in your career that you're not going to be able to sneak up on anybody. And they're going to know you, and they're going to know your flavor of toothpaste. They're going to know what you like to drink and eat. They're going to know it all.
Yeah.
So if he goes to the bathroom, there's going to be 11 people go with him. I can tell you that. So there will be somebody else that offensively or defensively that makes some big-time plays that could win this football game that you don't expect.
Yeah.
It's a great comment by Coach Franklin. He said it may take one or two series to get used to the turf at game speed. Talk about that.
I don't think so. I mean, it maybe so, but We've already played on it once at Pierce County. I think UAB's turf is pretty good turf and fairly new.
Yeah.
But it may take it might, but once you get on it, we're gonna practice on it tomorrow. So that one practice will probably be the ticket, and then we'll settle in and play. So now I'm glad we're on turf because if you're on grass and it's raining and it's cold and you're slipping and sliding on grass, you tend not to slip and slide on turf. And especially if it's good turf. If it's bad turf, it's 10 years old plus.
Old Legion Field?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That was
Oh, my
horrible.
gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to mention, I'd be remiss if I didn't. There's still time and there's still a need. If somebody wants to help Coosa, they want to donate and contribute, there's absolutely still time to do so.
Yes, we need money because here's why. We're trying to, it costs, I don't know what they spent last time, but I think it was pretty expensive. Your hotel rooms are going to cost you about $3,400 because, we're staying tomorrow night in Birmingham. Tonight we're doing our normal routine because I want them to get used to how we got to get up early and go play. So that's a little bit of an added expense, about $1,100 that we normally would not accrue, I guess. Is that the right word? I don't think it is, but it's a new word from Ohatchee anyway. But the charter bus, it's going to be about $2,700. So you throw in that, and hotels is right at bumping $5,000 to $5,500 just for those two big items, and that's your two biggest items. Your food cost is going to be roughly $2,000. So now you're at $7,500, which that's where we are right now. So I think there's some more expenses somewhere that we're not, $300 here, $200, $100, $400, whatever. So I'm hoping we can be right around that $10,000 range because I would like to be able to take that playoff check when we get it from the state, all 5 rounds, put it in our football account, and then that's what you use going forward.
Yeah.
When you got bills you still got to pay. I mean, I think football still owes East Gadsden money, and they still owe Rydell money for helmet reconditioning. I think there's other things out there, but those are the two main expenses, and I think. But there's things that's got to be bought. Headsets are really aged. They've got to be upgraded. We upgraded cameras this year, which is really been
phenomenal.
Phenomenal, great deal on that deal. But so there's things out there that have to be upgraded. Dummies, practice equipment.
Oh, I think he was looking at me and you, Jeff, when he said dummies.
We got that covered.
We're good, Coach. We're good with the dummies.
So, so there's things got to be bought, and I think that's what you do with the playoff monies. You take it, you pay off your bills, and then what you have left, you buy for the players for the following year. And you got, if you win, you got rings to, to help with, and you got other apparel, and a banquet's got to be, I think January 11th is what Holly told me that banquet would be January 11th, and Zayden Franklin's going to the All-Star game next week to play on a Friday at 2:00, and we'll be going down for that.
So proud of the kid. Got a second offer today.
Yeah, that's super. Who offered him today?
Huntington.
Good. It's really good. I think that he will even have better offers here in a few weeks. We got to get through this Friday, and then next week for me, when I get back next week, recruiting takes center stage. Cleaning, organization, and inventory, and preparing for 26 is sort of where we are in the week afterwards. Then the week after that, and I'll be gone part next week because I'm going to see Zayden. So the following week is exam week. We'll wrap it up then, and then scheduling of games are right around the corner. But a lot of people are already scheduling.
Sure.
And so there's a lot to do for these 2 weeks before we get out of Christmas, and then obviously after that you come back and hit the ground running in January and go. It's not. You can't wait till next August or wait till next June to think about football. Football starts in January, especially when basketball's over. You start to gather back. You're still lifting weights, but you start thinking more about football and we can do a post championship game one of these if y'all want to.
Yeah,
We'll
for
talk
sure.
about all that, but
For
I
sure.
think, just to hone in on this week. There's still a lot to do in these next 48 hours to be ready to play. We're not ready yet. We're preparing to be ready. Our players are in a defensive meeting as I speak. When I get back, they will be in the offensive meeting, and then we go to practice. That's part of the itinerary today. We will finish way before church tonight. We feed them steak tonight, the players and coaches,
right.
and then our select number will go into a hotel tonight and get used to going to bed early and getting up early and getting in the routine.
And not TikToking.
Final thing from me, there some people want to know what do you want our fans and community to know heading into Friday night? What are some things that you can tell the fans and the community about what to expect, what you're looking for, what you feel like needs to happen from the fans and the community, maybe showing up? I guess that's what they're asking. Encouragement to kids. Jerry's really big about sending positive messages to the kid. You alluded to some things beforehand about getting out of hand on social media. What are some things that your fans and community can do to help encourage your guys for this Friday?
First, do what they did last week, man. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that semifinal crowd at Pigeon was unbelievable.
Right.
They were loud, and they were up on their feet, and we
it was cold.
That's partially true. Yeah, sure.
But I want to appreciate our fans and our community, but our fan base has been great.
Yeah.
And we may be small in numbers compared to bigger schools, but I can tell you right now, in 2A football, we are very vocal. We're very loud. We do a really good job in support. And, and I'm very appreciative of that. The second thing is be there for the Walk of Champions.
Yes.
Be there at 12:30. I know it says 12:45 on the southwest corner of Protective Stadium. I would be there at 12:30. I learned my lesson after 21. I've tried to get there at 12:04. Of course, I was coming off COVID too, but still, get there early, get lined up, especially if your son or daughter is in the walk. I think it's a special time.
Yeah.
Entering that stadium and a lot of people there, and the crowd, the enthusiasm, all those things are playing a big part in it. And they don't have to come to the hotel and see us off. They just need to be right there at that Walk of Champion when we get there, and when we get off the bus. We want to see our families. We want to see our people that support us.
Sure.
And then when you get inside the stadium, bunch up and stay loud and enjoy this thing and pull us through that thing. Your crowd helps you a lot, and you feed off that energy. And we fed off of it last week. Now.
Sure.
I promise you we did.
We felt it from a broadcast standpoint.
I did. And
so this could be the greatest birthday in Zayden Franklin's life.
Yeah,
we got 2 scholarship offers, playing for a state championship. Tomorrow's his birthday. Yeah, and his mom is very upset that she can't cook him his birthday breakfast. So if you don't get his big butt some cake, you're going to have to deal with Mama Franklin.
Philip said, do we need to DoorDash it?
No.
That's awesome.
He needs cake, but like I need a tub of lard. But
you are looking thin, Coach. Maybe you do
That's
need some of that. Hey, just so everyone knows, we're still broadcasting the game. Airtime is 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure to
2:30.
Yeah, whatever.
2:30.
2:30.
Don't be at 6:30. You'll be late.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna broadcast it twice. We'll still be there.
That's true.
No, the kickoff's at 3:00. Airtime for us are going to be at 2:30, and we thank you so much for all our sponsors to make this possible, Coach. And we've really enjoyed the ride with you this year.
It's been wonderful, guys. I appreciate it. I think that, like I said earlier, I think the format's been wonderful, and it's been sort of, just sort of like 3 buddies sitting down and talking football.
That's the goal.
And I think it's been unique, and it's been one of the better formats that I've dealt with.
Awesome.
And I appreciate you too for doing it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we've prompted Coosa Christian football.
Yes.
And these kids.
Exactly.
And the next big thing after the championship is
we're gonna do this show at Picnic.
Whatever.
Hey,
I gotta get one of them Probst patties.
But we want to get recruiting. I want to get some of these kids signed.
Absolutely.
LJ, Grayson, Zayden,
Mm.
if Rad wants to go play, Cade Micker wants to go play, David Lang needs to go play. You know, these
That's
kids
right.
need to really think about this. The good thing, there's a February signing day.
There is.
So they're so tired after the season, they go, man, I want to be away from football for a few weeks. But after a few weeks, you go, wait a minute, I might want to do this some more.
Right.
Yeah.
And so hopefully I can sit down with each of those kids and we'll talk and get them somewhere where they get an education paid for and you know and play college football.
Well, this day and time, it's just about getting in that first school.
Yes.
Then the portal gets you everywhere
Wherever
else
you want to go. If you improve,
correct.
you bump up.
Well, I'll forward you my resume. I'll put my hat in the name for the job, coach.
recruiting coordinator.
People is what I know.
People is what you know.
You'd be surprised who I was at my phone and actually takes my calls.
So do you? Can you evaluate a quarterback?
Sure. You're not dealing with a rookie, coach. I've been in this game a long time. And if I don't think I can, you know, I have contacts like Freddie Kitchens, Patrick Nix, my people. You know, I know a guy named Rush Probst.
That's right.
That douchebag don't ever take my
Sometimes
call.
that ain't good.
He doesn't take my call sometimes, but I know him.
That's good stuff.
Good luck, coach.
All right.
Hey, whoa. If you don't say something about your wife, coach, you
Lord
better get me in
mercy.
trouble.
Well,
And that's
you
what
know,
get Jeff in trouble.
When
I'm
I
gonna call his
left,
wife.
she was trying to do this. She's doing about 3 things and trying to put that final itinerary together. But when I get back, she'll have it done. I know she cooks some stuff for the kids, and we're getting ready for tonight's dinner and getting ready for everything we do. And let me say this: I could not do what I do without her. I mean, I don't know how other people do it, but she is a champion when it comes, and she's been this way for 20 years. She was main person of getting our nutrition program at Kaufman County, and then that stuff spread like wildfire. And she met with an SEC nutritionist and sports science, and then she developed our plan that what we could do in high school football, and it has grown, and she's done a lot of good stuff with it.
Somebody it was Miss Helms said, that's not your wife. You are Steph's husband. That's what you are.
That's true. I think the players feel the same way.
That's fact.
All
right, guys.
Moving around that, but anyway, I appreciate everything. Go Conquerors.
Guys, Friday, get there early. Airtime's 2:30. If you can't make it, join us on Capacity.